Well, hey, everybody. This is Lisa Wright with Your Personal Best Training Studio, where my team and I help men and women over 50 to move better and feel better and age actively, able to do all the things they love to do now and would love to do for the rest of their lives. And today I have with me a client who is celebrating 10 years with Your Personal Best Training Studio. This is Mr. George Clower. And when he joined us, he was 75 years old. He was working as an architect. And George, I understand that you are still working and working out of your home.
Yes.
And I was wondering if you would tell our viewers a little bit about what it was like for you before you joined Your Personal Best Training Studio.
Well, it had been a while since I had any regular exercise routine, and I was starting to gain a little weight, not a whole lot, but more than I wanted. And I could tell that I needed to do some things to remain more flexible. I wasn't having any big serious problems, but I didn't want any to come up. So having heard you explain your program when you and I were in another organization, and there were some members there that were already going, and I was impressed with their comments. So I tried it out, and so I've stuck with it. It's been working.
And so what changes have you experienced over the last 10 years? Talk a little bit about, are you maintaining? Why do you stay? Why do you stay at YPB?
Well, I think it's allowed me to maintain. Initially, I lost some weight, a net of about 10 pounds, which I was not really very much overweight, but it got me in where I was feeling more comfortable in my body, and I got stronger, more flexible. Things that I was starting to not be able to do as well, I kind of regained some of that. I had never done anything that had a whole lot of weight training in it. I'd done a lot of aerobics, which burns lots of calories and all, and does endurance. But I think the combination of the weight training and the cardio really helped me maintain flexibility and gain some strength.
Very true. One of the reasons George and I are doing this interview on Zoom as a recording is because when COVID hit all of us, he pivoted and, to my knowledge, rarely misses a workout. So maybe what are you most proud of accomplishing, and also what's been your biggest challenge, if you can kind of roll that all into one?
Well, I think the consistency of continuing, coming every time I could. I mean, there've been very few times where I had some meeting or some conference call or something I couldn't control. But otherwise, if someone tried to set a time for an appointment and all, I always left my workout times as an appointment already made.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I think probably the thing I'm most proud of is being able to keep that consistency. As far as a challenge, I don't know if I've had any big challenge. We discussed this a little bit earlier,
Okay.
And I may have mentioned one. Did I mention something then?
Basically, you just said that the biggest challenge was moving from coming into the studio regularly and the change to working out at home. But you also shared with me you already had some weights. George,
Yeah.
tell our viewers what equipment you have at home that's real minimal, but it gets the job done.
It's minimal. I have 2 8-pound weights, 2 15-pound weights, and a 20-pound kettlebell.
Mhm.
And I have a foam roll that we use
Mhm.
sometimes to roll on,
Mhm.
and I have a mat, a yoga mat,
Yeah.
a small bench that I use sometime.
Mhm. And have
Works.
I seen you do like push-ups on the end of your bed, at the end of your bed or your desk?
Well, there's a trunk at the
A
end of the
trunk.
bed,
That's what it is. A
and
trunk, piece of
I
furniture.
do push-ups there. Sometimes I do them on the floor, but mostly I do there.
Yeah.
And I think that's about,
Yeah.
it doesn't take, I mean, we're using mainly a few light weights
Right.
in our bodies,
It's very
and
true.
that, that's what we're doing every day naturally anyways, using our bodies.
Exactly.
So all we're doing is using them to make sure that it's easier to use them for normal functions.
Right. So viewers, we love to say that grooving is complicated, and we don't put our clients in machines at all, because the client would have to conform to the machine. And what we believe is that your body is the machine. And so in our studio and in the homes of the clients that we train, they have what we call free weights that they can pick up and hold to challenge their strength, power, speed, movement, but they don't have to conform to the machine. The dumbbells, if one arm has to hold it one way and the other arm has to hold it an inch differently to have pain-free joints, then you're able to do that with free weights and not so much so with machines. So that was something I wasn't even sure we would talk about. But so George, as we wrap this up, what best piece of advice would you give to someone out there that's over 50 years old? They've been active their whole life. They're 70 now, they're 80, and they're still active, and they want to maintain their activity. So with regard to your personal best training studio and that scenario, what would you say to them?
I would say try it out. And whether or not you feel discouraged at first, um, give it a chance and at least go 1 or 2 times longer than you think you want to. And things start changing, not immediately, and there'll be some soreness and things at first, but those pass, and just keep with it. Set a time and say, I'm going to do this for at least 3 months.
Mhm.
And I think if you do it for that long, you'll get past some of the hurdles and some of the discouragement, and you'll stick with it. And that's the biggest thing, is just be consistent with it, and you'll find it has big rewards.
George said that one of the things he said about us is that it gives him accountability, and he's committed to his appointments that he works, because it's on his calendar. He works around that. So if you've watched this interview all the way through, we do offer 3 weeks. It would be 9 sessions at a lower introductory price for you to give us a try. And we found that that's usually enough time for you to discover if we're a fit for you and if you're a fit for us. So in the description of this video, I'll have that offer. And other than that, George, happy 10-year anniversary with YPB. I don't have it in front of me, but we sent George a book by Mark Middleton called Growing Bolder. And George is definitely growing bolder. And we're just so happy that you're part of our community. So thank you, George. And we'll see you online for your next workout.
Okay. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.